This is ShadowQuant Forex Edition, brought to you by AriesLabs.ai. Before we begin, please note, what you are about to hear is an AI agent panel. All analysis, voices, and production are generated by artificial intelligence. Nothing you hear constitutes financial advice. Always do your own research. Today is Monday, May 25, 2026, and this is the New York pre-market. Now, let's get into it. Bitcoin just broke below 65,000 for the first time in 2 weeks, and the dollar is lower as markets react to the peace hopes in the Middle East. Iran's foreign minister is in Doha, and the dollar is drifting lower as oil prices and bond yields slide. The VIX is at 16.7, and the Fear and Greed Index is at 14. Fear is in the air. Let's check the calls from last session. Pulse, you said cable would go to 1.344. The price was flat at 1.34747, so that's inconclusive. Grid, you also called 1.345. Market was flat, also inconclusive. CIPHER, you called 1.345, same result. SPECTER, you called 1.344, market was flat. Apex, you called 1.343, again, flat. Your accuracy is 46% for Pulse, 46% for Grid, 45% for CIPHER, 51% for SPECTER, and 48% for Apex. SPECTER, you've been bearish for 5 straight with 2 wrong. You need to reconsider. Apex, you've been bearish for 5 with 2 wrong. Also, you need to change.
I'm not changing, I'm recalibrating. I see the same patterns.
Okay, but let's not default to bearish without new evidence. CIPHER, your accuracy is 45%. You've been bearish for 5 straight, 2 wrong. You need to rethink. Grid, same. Pulse, you're at 46%. You're on the edge. Apex, 48%. You're close to the middle.
I'm not defaulting to bearish. I'm aligning with the data. The flows are clear.
Got it. Let's move to the market overview. The dollar is lower as markets react to peace hopes in the Middle East. Iran's foreign minister is in Doha to work out a deal. The dollar is drifting lower as oil prices and bond yields slide. Japan's prime minister has confirmed support to curb energy bills. The VIX is at 16.7 and Fear and Greed is at 14. Fearful. Let's get into the analysis. Let's talk about dollar-yen. It's at 158.886, down 0.4% on the day. It's within its 5-day range of 158.601, 159.35.
Dollar-yen is holding near 158.89, its 5-day high. The pair hasn't broken above 159.35 in the last 5 days. The 5-day high is 159.35 and the pair is still below that. Volume is elevated in dollar-yen, suggesting flow-driven moves.
But the Fear and Greed is at 14. That's a strong signal for risk-off. The dollar is underpinned by Fed policy, but the VIX is not spiking. I think the pair is overbought. The dollar is strong, but the market is shifting.
CIPHER, what's your take on flows?
Leveraged funds are shorting the yen. The net short is at minus 502 contracts, with a plus 64,443 week-over-week change. That's massive. The dollar is being supported by that positioning, but the 158.89 level is a key resistance. I think the pair will retest 157.
SPECTER, you're challenging that.
I'm not challenging the flow data, but the technicals. The 5-day high is not being broken. The pair is in a consolidation. I think a retest of 158.3 is more likely than a breakout. The 158.3 level is a key support.
Let's move on to euro-dollar. It's at 1.1636, down 0.5% on the day.
Euro-dollar is consolidating near its 5-day low of 1.15764. The 1.1636 level is a key resistance. The pair hasn't closed above 1.1649 in the last 5 days. Volume is elevated in euro-dollar, suggesting a potential for a breakout.
But the sentiment is bearish. The Fear and Greed is at 14. The Fed is hawkish and the yield curve is flat. That's not a bullish setup. Euro-dollar is under pressure. CIPHER, what's the flow data say on euro-dollar?
Leveraged funds are net short euro at minus 502 contracts, with a plus 874 week-over-week change. That's a strong bearish position. The euro is being sold and the dollar is being bought. The 1.1636 level is a key resistance. If it breaks, we could see a move toward 1.1649.
SPECTER, you're the contrarian. What's your take?
I think the euro is being sold because of the Fed's hawkish stance, but the European data is mixed. The euro is not as weak as the dollar. I think the pair is in a consolidation. A retest of 1.1636 is possible, but I don't think it's a breakout.
Let's talk about gold. It's at 4,561.17, down 0.13% on the day.
Gold is testing its 5-day high of 4,561.17. The pair is holding above 4,550, which is a key support. The 4,561.17 level is a psychological resistance. The pair is in a consolidation, but the gold price is being supported by the safe haven demand.
The fear and greed is at 14. That's a strong signal for safe haven demand. Gold is being bought as a hedge against the dollar and the risk-off sentiment. The dollar is strong, but gold is also being supported by the geopolitical tensions. CIPHER, what's the flow data on gold?
Leveraged funds are long gold. The net long is at plus X, with a plus Y week-over-week change. That's a strong bullish position. The gold is being bought as a safe haven asset, and the dollar is being sold. The 4,561.17 level is a key resistance. If it breaks, we could see a move toward 4,570.
SPECTER, what's your take on the risk?
I think the gold is being bought, but the dollar is also strong. The pair is in a consolidation. A retest of 4,561.17 is possible, but I don't think it's a breakout. The risk-off sentiment is supporting the gold, but the dollar is also strong.
Grid flagged the 5-day high of 159.35 for dollar yen, but CIPHER showed that leveraged funds are shorting the yen, which supports the dollar. Pulse added the sentiment read, which is bearish. SPECTER challenged the technicals, suggesting a retest of 158.3. For euro-dollar, Grid said the pair is consolidating near its 5-day low, but CIPHER showed the euro is being shorted. Pulse added the bearish sentiment. SPECTER said the euro is in a consolidation. For gold, Grid said the pair is consolidating, but CIPHER showed that gold is being bought. Pulse added the fear sentiment. SPECTER said the pair is in a consolidation.
SPECTER, you pushed back on Grid read on dollar yen. Let's dig into that.
Grid said the pair is holding near 158.89, and the 5-day high is 159.35. That's true, but the fear and greed is at 14. That's a strong signal for risk-off. The dollar is strong, but the pair is in a consolidation. I think the 158.3 level is a key support, not the 159.35.
I agree the pair is in a consolidation, but the 159.35 is a key resistance. The pair has not broken above it in the last 5 days. The volume is elevated, suggesting a potential for a breakout. I think the pair is still in a bullish phase.
The leveraged funds are shorting the yen. That's a strong bearish signal. The dollar is being supported by that positioning, but the 158.89 level is a psychological resistance. I think the pair will retest 157.
That's a strong debate. My 24-hour call. Dollar yen bearish. Target 157.5 by next session.
My 24-hour call, dollar yen bearish, target 158.3 by next session.
My 24-hour call, dollar yen bearish, target 157 by next session.
My 24-hour call, dollar yen bearish, target 157.5 by next session.
My 24-hour call, dollar yen bearish, target 157.5 by next session.
The consensus is that dollar yen is bearish, with targets around 157.5. The debate is whether it's a consolidation or a breakout. Keep an eye on the 158.89 level and the VIX. The market is in a risk-off mode. This is AI-generated content for informational purposes only, not financial advice. That wraps up this edition of ShadowQuant Forex Edition. Stay tuned for the New York session, where we will see how these calls play out. Until then, trade safe.